Welcome to another podcast of the current situation at Manchester United. Hope you guys are enjoying the rest of your day so far. It's a cold Monday afternoon, but actually, like someone was telling me one day that, and I was new to, for example, I'm not, I'm from Jamaica, but I live in Canada. I live in Canada now. And someone was telling me last year that like whenever it's snowing, you might one might think that when it's snowing, that's when the time is very cool. That's like it's very chilly, it's very nippy. It just oh Jesus, I need to go inside, man. I'm just freezing my threads up. And the person was like saying, nah, it's actually when it's not snowing, that's when it's the coldest. It doesn't sound logical, does it? Um yeah, so I hope you guys are enjoying your Monday afternoon so far. I just want to get in some notes in this podcast better. Um, Now relating to my last previous podcast video, you know, Manchester United was hosted by Everton at the Goodison Park, and not to repeat all my talking points in my previous podcast, but United finished the game 1-1. Could have gone both ways. Everton could have won the game. United could have won the game, especially in the last minutes. But a Spider-Man super save by Jordan Pickford disillusioned that to happen. Um, what on? Oh yeah, after the game, after the whistle was blown to full time, Carlo Ancelotti, the manager for Everton, confronted the referees, and he confronted referees because he thought, among other Everton supporters, and including myself as a Manchester United fan, thought that that goal should have stood, which it should. And then, you know, the inevitable happened. He was sent off. Um, yeah, I guess that's what you get for telling the truth. See, man, all right, like in history, right? Like some guys would say, like if your parents would say, you should tell the truth. Tell the truth at all time, even when it hurts. It lays off a burden off your shoulders. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Um, see, you see, whenever you stand up for something that you believe is true or you believe is correct, you go get backlash for it. And I would even say in some cases you go get killed for it. For example, Martin Luther King Jr. stood up for something that he believed is right. And he got hung. Like where I'm from, Jamaica, I know a few national heroes that got hung because they stood up for the people, they stood up for what they believe should happen. Jesus, anyone? Jesus was crucified because some moped Pope, not Pope, Pilate believed that Jesus was in the wrong, healing the sick, giving sight to the blind, raising the dead from 6 feet under. Um, and then they said, no, you know what, this brother should be killed. He's talking shit. So yeah, whenever you stand for something that's true, when you believe that something that is very true, you go get backlash for it. So Ancelotti was sent off. That's first and foremost. Secondly, The positive out of yesterday's game was, of course, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes scored. Some might say it's a worldly, but I have higher standards than that. I would say that was a very good goal. It wasn't a worldly like a 40-yard screamer or a screamer out in your like a Charlie Adams kind of screamer against Chelsea. I wouldn't even go that far. It was a good goal from Bruno Fernandes, so and his performance was his passes, his IQ of the game in midfield, when to play the pass, how to play the pass. It's very clever and it's very even kill. It's very, but despite not to open a new can of worms, but that despite his good performances, some of you like some of United fans need to some of you guys need to retrace history. Some of you guys need to retrace history. What do I mean by retracing history? Um, all right, let's say for example, right? Let's say for example, okay. I experienced. Okay, let's just go with this example because I suck at examples. So bear with me. It's an issue. I'm dealing with it. I'm going to my counsel for meetings about it. So just yeah. So yeah, like I saw on TV again. This is an example. I saw on TV, right, of this actor being very good actor, I mean, when he came out, let me just get to the point. When he came out, he was a novice. Nobody didn't really expect him, but his close peers were saying, he's a very good actor. He's going to make it into the acting industry. Trust me. He's going to make it at the Warner Brothers. He's going to make it at the Columbia, whatever places that film movies. He's going to make it. That's what his close friends were saying, and some guys were saying, nah, based on history, based on what I've seen, young guys that probably had a not so natural talent, not so natural talent, isn't going to just make it off the rim like that. It's not going to just make it off the rim like that. They have to do some training to be a very top notch young actor. So many guys want to say, okay, bro, what's a point? What's a pitch? I'm basically saying, and probably that's not the best analogy, but like I said, I'm not the best at analogies or examples. But I say this to say this, man. Yes, I get that we as United supporters are over the moon, are complete bananas about Bruno Fernandes' brilliant performances. But let's just let's just let's not be like I see some guys on Twitter saying, yeah, Bruno Fernandes is going to conquer Manchester derbies. He's going to score a lot of goals for Manchester United, scoring a lot of assists. I'm like, bruh, time out, time out, time out, time out, time out. Time to get a five in the corner. If you look at United's past history players that was signed from different countries, for example, I would give off one off the top of my dome. One Sebastian Veron. One Sebastian Veron, if that's his real name. He was an Argentinian midfielder from Argentina, duh, and I think he came from the Italian league. He came from the Italian league. There were a lot of per person saying that Veron is not going to make it into the Premier League. He's going to be a flop in the Premier League. And Veron was quite the talent in midfield. He wasn't no average Joe Schmo type of midfielder that was just okay, control and pass, 1-2, control and pass. Look, anybody open, control and pass. He wasn't that. He had flair. He had charisma in his style of play. He oozed swag when he was playing, and he actually scored a good amount of free kicks for Manchester United. But when he came to Manchester United, a lot of Well, of course, you want a new signing to be, a very good signing. So guys were saying, he's going to challenge David Beckham. He's going to probably be the next RG. He's going to he and Skulls, Keane, Giggsy, Beckham is going to just be brilliant in midfield. Hold on. Varane wasn't. Again, I didn't watch football at the time because I was on my mother's breast. But ba- based on seeing on certain videos and reading his Wikipedia, he was known to be a very technical player in midfield. Like he could just pass balls and dribble and beat players and score free kicks and score goals himself. And without getting lengthy, Bruno, Bruno Varane wasn't. He didn't make the cut. He didn't cut the cake for Manchester United. Not saying that he was a complete flop like Bebe or what's his name? Uh, whatever. The point is he didn't make the cut. He didn't make the cut. He wasn't. I mean, some might say that he's one of the best midfielders to come to Manchester United, but he just didn't suit this system under Sir Alex Ferguson, and that was United in their prime. So you know, but he just didn't make the gravy for Manchester United at the time. Another signing which would click with you more millennial Manchester United supporters is the Angel Di Maria. And this is where I'm going to this is the meat of the matter in terms of this video. I'm going to compare Angel Di Maria with Bruno Fernandes. Angel Di Maria with Bruno Fernandes. When Angel Di Maria came from Real Madrid in 2014 to Manchester United, he was very basically he was the top 10 players, not just midfielders, but top 10 players for Manchester, not for Manchester United. That's bullshit. In the world, period. Because in his last season for Real Madrid, he was stellar. He was colossal in midfield. He was brilliant in midfield, especially in his last El Clasico for Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, despite losing 3-4 at home. He was very brilliant in that game, giving 2 assists, and he could have had at least 4 or 5. And he was very brilliant in the final for Real Madrid, leading to their La Decima, winning 10 Champions League. And then he came to Manchester United, and a lot of United fans were saying, "Hooray, we're getting a top-notch player, we're getting a top-notch player." Yes, he's the best player we have signed since Robin Van Persie, since signed for Manchester United in 2012. Yes, Fellaini is not the great player we're signing now. Angel Di Maria. And when he came on in his first game, he started against QPR at home, got scored an unexpected free kick, and he got a couple of assists. Um, and again against Leicester City away, despite United losing, have an somewhat of a tongue twister moment there. Uh, yeah, United lost to Leicester City 5-2, and the positive in that game was that Di Maria scored an individual goal and he assisted Rooney, I believe. Well, Rooney did assist Di Maria for that goal, but Di Maria was very still in that first half, and then the egg come crumbling down for Manchester United in the second half. But I say that to say this that this because just because Bruno Fernandes has had a good stellar start for Manchester United doesn't mean he's going to come out. Okay, okay. I'm gonna put this question out to you guys. Um, let's say for example you're an academy player, right, for Manchester United. You're 18. You're 18, the ideal age for promotion into the starting squad. Jesus, my neck just started scratching. It's like someone using a feather and just scratch my neck or all over my head. It's funny I'm not sneezing yet, but don't. Whatever. So yeah, you're 18 and you're an academy player. You got promoted. Mason Green with anyone. Um, but a couple games you start playing very well for Manchester United. You know, you're not scoring goals every game or banging a hat trick every game, but you're playing very well. You're scoring a goal here and there, and then after a couple months, if not 3 months, things start going down. Things start going into the shitter or into the gutter, right? And some people are saying, Jesus, peace, man. We had so much faith in him. What's wrong with him? He was very good. I mean, what's wrong with him? What's up with him? He was an ideal player, even at a young age. And I might be rambling a lot, but this is the reason, and I might be against the grain as I usually am, but this is the reason why there are a lot of United players, not a lot of United players. Well, a few play for Manchester United, but a lot of players, period, in football that started out being a top notch level player, but based on their current situation, hashtag, probably based on their current situation with their family, or they think that they're at the top of the world. Coming to that, stick up in right there. They think they're at the top of the world. They think, all right, boom, I'm going to be more compliant in my performances. I'm going to relax in my performances. I'm a top player. I just have it like that of shoot, I'm scoring goals, I'm banging assists, I'm beating players. I've been voted as United's best player for 4 months in a row, or if for any club for that matter. And then the performance just go down. And this is why a lot of players, coming back to my earlier point, started out being top-notch players, and then unfortunately when they became older, fame became started fueling their heads with, I'm on top of the world, I'm a very good player. And you might be, but you're not showing that on the pitch. You're not showing that on the pitch, you know? Like Ronaldinho, when Ronaldinho came to, like, there are a lot of people saying that, yeah, Ronaldinho is one of the best players in the world. Ronaldinho is one of the best players to ever grace football. And he is. I mean, again, I've never seen Ronaldinho in his prime play profane football, but a brother knew how to juggle a ball, he knew to control a ball without any glue, mind you, and he knew how to score goals from free kicks, from A. He was very good, and he could beat players. Like when Ronaldinho was Ramos in what we call it Ramos in Jamaica. Like but I don't even know why I'm on this long segue, but I'm saying a lot of players, a lot of ex-players and United supporters and other fans of football are saying Ronaldinho is one of their mentors in football. They watch his YouTube videos, they want to emulate his style of play, saying that he's one of the best players in football. Best players in football. And then there are some football fans saying, no, 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 nope, 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 nope. See, the reason why I want to think that Ronaldinho is the best player, one of the best players in football, which he might be, but to say if he's the best player in football, you're being full of shit. Because this is a guy that has been in his prime, in his best years for playing for football, for 3 years. That's what they're saying, and I somewhat co-sign with that. Because Ronaldinho started in his prime in 2004, and he ran out of steam by 2006 after the World Cup. That's what happened. He ran out, yeah. So that's why I'm like, bro, it's better if I'm not saying that you should calm down on your performances, like for example Bruno Fernandes, since he's the main event in this video. I'm saying Just because a player has started out playing very brilliantly for a club doesn't mean he's going to continue like that. That's the ultimate goal we want him. We want him to continue like that. But don't be surprised when a player run out of steam, run out of piss poor performances because he started out brilliantly. Like he started running a 100 meter dash, and then when he reached by 80 meters, he's slowing down and all that kind of shit. No, bruh, no, bruh. And I'm going back to this analogy I made with the 18-year-old academy player. Players should know. I'm not saying that you should slow down in your performances. What I'm saying is that don't burn yourself out. Do not burn yourself out. Man, who is this guy to talk about players shouldn't burn themselves out, man? You're getting paid per week. You're getting cheese paid per week. I mean, you're getting a lot of money paid per week. You should play in every. You should play very good in every game. Every game you should play good. Where I think there is rehabilitation. Where I think there is rest. Where I think there is ice, very cold ice showers for recovery. Yes, you should play very good for in every game. Yeah, but that go mess him up mentally and physically. When Rooney when he came out for Everton, I wonder who he played previously against. When he played for Everton in his younger years and he came to Manchester United in his younger years, somewhat older years, but he was still young. Rooney was scoring goals. He was the Mbappe at the time. He was the Kylian Mbappe at the time. He was a top-notch player at a young age. It was said that Wayne Rooney had the body of a 25-year-old when he was like 17 or 18, even at 16. When he scored that goal against he wish he was Manchester United. When he scored that goal against Arsenal, the invincible Arsenal. Um, yeah. So I mean, like Rooney was, and when Rooney came to Manchester United, certain United supporters, especially when it was 2011, 12, 13, a lot of Manchester United fans were saying, all right, Rooney's running out of steam. He's getting slow. Especially when it was like 2011, when Rooney was like 26. That's when a player should enter his prime. But based on Rooney's performances, Rooney has been that great. And speaking of objectivity, that's me being objective. That's not me throwing fire under Rooney's ass. Because again, I love Rooney. But if you were to watch United's game, most of United's game, and that would lead to why Robin Van Persie signed for Manchester United in 2020, 2012. Tongue twister this afternoon. Yeah, because Rooney was running out of steam. He's past his prime at a young age. Because he was playing so good at a very young age that he ran out of steam. He overburned himself as a player. Overburned himself as a player. You get what I'm saying? Tell me that you get what I'm saying. Tell me that you get what I'm saying. Marinate on it for a few seconds. You as a player, you need to moderate yourself, moderate your performances. Again, I'm no ex-player, so well, yeah, you ain't no ex-player. You're just talking shit. Yeah, but doesn't mean like for example, I couple years ago when I was working out to build my body up to be in the best physique possible, I was working out like 5 6 days a week, 5 6 even 7 days a week. And then when I entered into my third month of my weight loss phase, I didn't feel like working out for like 6 5. 5, 6, 7 days a week when I lose fat like that. When my food count is low, you know, I just ran out of steam because I overburned. I was on the sprint. I was sprinting at first in my first 2 months. But like when I entered my third month, I felt lazy, lackadaisical, very lethargic, very lazy. I didn't want to work out. I didn't reach my goal that I need to. But I was out of steam. I was on E. If you want to use car terms. So I'm basically saying with Bruno Fernandes and Di Maria, I'm not finished with Di Maria because Di Maria, I don't think Di Maria genuinely wanted to come to Manchester United. Of course, it was all about this. It's all about this paper, all about this cheese coins. You know what I mean? Di Maria performances started to go down. Now, mind you, he would get an assist here and there. Jesus Christ, my head just starts scratching, man. Um, yeah, he was getting an assist here and there. Again, Di Maria clocked 12 assists. I think behind, he was probably second or third to Fabregas in that season in the Premier League in terms of assists. Again, I could be wrong. Third, fourth, no, 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 no lower than fourth. The Mayor wasn't all that bad, but his performances was crap in the late months because in his first 2, if not 3 months, he was playing well. He was playing well for Manchester United. I know a lot of United supporters consider him a flop. Consider him a flop. He's not good for Manchester United. And I'm saying I'm not trying to rub negativity in your faces, but I'm saying just because Bruno Fernandes has had a stellar start to the season for Manchester United doesn't mean he's going to end the season well. Doesn't mean he's going to end his United career well. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's why a lot of players that started out being very world class ended up passing their prime when they were like 25 or 26. Like Ronaldinho, like Wayne Rooney, like Michael Owen, like Garrincha. And hell, I don't think even my parents were alive when Garrincha. Shoot, that was like decades ago, so to speak. But you get what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't want to climax that fast. Cause when you climax that fast, you're playing a hand. You're playing a hand. You know? I don't think I can break it down any lower than that. Or into syllables or but yeah bro, I mean so because Bruno Fernandes again, some of you guys is comparing Bruno Fernandes to Mesut Ozil. And yes, Mesut Ozil has less goal contributions this season than Bruno Fernandes this season for club in England. I know you guys want to compare Bruno Fernandes to Kevin De Bruyne. Come on, bro, that don't make no sense. That's reactionary, right? That's reactionary. So without getting long, man. I mean, this is kind of getting long now, but yeah, Bruno Fernandes has had a very good start for Manchester United, right? But he's human. Humans shit. Humans pew. Humans make mistake, and humans are just humans. That's what we are. You are mortal beings bound to be 6 foot under some days in the future. That's humans. But humans aren't going to really, especially if you're a football player, a professional football player, you ain't go have that stellar performance day in day out. You know, you're just not. and seeing that probably Bruno Fernandes is going to supersede Paul Pogba as United's best player. Cause shoot, I think when Bruno Fernandes started in a bad form, which is bound to come at some point, I'm not saying it's going to come soon. Some of you guys need to be objective, alright? I left that pod long ago in my previous video, so I can go get it back. Some of you guys need to be objective and be realistic. That's something I left out in my previous video. You need to be realistic. Be a realistic. Bruno Fernandes has had a stellar start. Like Ian Wright was saying, and Bruno Fernandes saying that again. I'm paraphrasing the word. He's paraphrasing his words. I can't talk clearly. He's basically saying a lot of fans saying, because he played in Portugal, Portugal is a easy league, and yeah, that's why he has Frank Lampard type of numbers, having over 30 goals in a season, over 20 assists in a season. It's just an easy league. But he's basically saying that based on their start, yeah, he has had a good start for Manchester United. And a lot of United accounts that I won't name are saying that, he's going to be very good for Manchester United. And I mean, that's the ultimate goal we want, but don't be surprised when a player that started at the top of the mountain just just went into the toilet. Just like that. Especially when it's not flush. Don't make don't do not. Alright, this is what I'm trying to say. Don't don't be unrealistic. Be realistic. Be objective. Don't be subjective. It's good to have subjective opinions and so forth and so forth in terms of football. That's why you should say, in my opinion, certain and certain stuff is right. In my opinion, Mace Greenwood is better than Martinelli. In my opinion, Alphonso Davies is a better left back than Saka of Arsenal. In my opinion, Bruno Fernandes is a better midfielder than Paul Pogba. Those are subjective truth. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry. Subjective truth and subjective opinions. That's why they're opinions, they're not facts. So getting lengthy, man. Just remember that because Bruno Fernandes has had a stellar start for Manchester United, doesn't mean it's going to end that way. Alright? Because there will be games that he'll be non-existent in. And I know a lot of United support. I know how a lot of you guys are. I know how a lot of you guys are. When a player doesn't, when a player starts great or at least decent, but goes a couple games, he goes missing. Some of you guys want to say he's crappy shit anyway. He ain't shit. He ain't shit. Come on, bro. That's passive aggressive. That's passive aggressive behavior. Cut out the passive aggressive behavior and be realistic. Marinate on that for the rest of the day. Peace.